Hello and welcome back to session 2 of the goal setting program. So, here in this session, we will be going a little deeper into the concepts that are there in goal setting. So, looking at the session outline, we will be talking about a concept called multiple goal strategy. We have some research work which will help us understand the multiple goal strategy. We have a case study. What is the effectiveness of goal studying? We have a reflective exercise which will help us understand the effectiveness. Then we have why goal setting helps the athletes, and finally, what are the guidelines that we should follow or athletes should follow when they adopt the goal setting strategies. In the last session, in session 1, that is, we learnt about the different types of goals, that is the outcome goal, the performance goals and also the process goals. Now, the question comes, which goal should be used for sports performance? So, many times I ask athletes, I ask coaches, I ask mentors and even trainers, which goal is the best that the athlete should adopt? So, sometimes there is a confusion about which goal is more important. Some people say that performance goal is more important, some say process goal is more important, and some say even outcome goal is important. So, based on this understanding, the most important thing is that if you want to be effective in your goal setting, we need to use the multiple goal strategy. Okay? Multiple goal involves all the 3 goals. You have the performance goals, you have the process goals and you have the outcome goals. It is said that when all the 3 goals are used, it provides optimum performance and also your goal setting will be effective. So, going back to why all the 3 goals have to be used, right. So, why can't only one goal be used? So, if we let us look at the outcome goal. Okay. So, the outcome goal specifies the end result or the outcome of a competition or outcome of a match. Okay. So, it provides short term motivation for an athlete, because as we all know, we have no control over the outcome, but why do athletes train, right? Why do they work hard? Why do they compete? Because they want to outclass opponent, or they want to outclass another competitor, or they want to come victorious, win a medal or win the games or whatever, whether it's an individual or a team. So, outcome goal is important, though it has its disadvantages, right? It also has its advantages, like it provides athlete some motivation to work for, because all the training that is put culminates in or comes to an end when there is an outcome for a result, like whether you are a winner or you came second or third or you didn't make it. So, that will help you to work better or work harder when you want to prepare for the next competition. And the other advantage is where you stand, right. So, that is the most important thing, but too much emphasis on an outcome goal does not provide the end result or does not provide you any kind of a satisfaction, because I read some time back about a case. This is an Olympic champion, he is a javelin thrower. So, he had won the Olympic medal in the gold medal in the previous Olympics, and the next 4 years the athlete was very enthusiastic and motivated that he should retain his gold medal in the following Olympics. So, he thought a lot about the winning part, he focused on the winning, and his entire preparation for the 4 years was about his aspiration to win the Olympic medal again. When he went for the Olympic Games, as usual, they had the qualifying event, and it was surprising that this particular athlete did not even qualify for the heats. He was very disappointed because he was the title holder. He came back home and he was talking to one of the psychologists, and the psychologist spoke to him, asked him, tell me all about your preparation for the Olympic Games. He said, I thought about winning. So, when you think only about winning, it is not going to provide you the desired results, because you have no control over it. So, that is when the psychologist explained to him that instead of thinking about the outcome or thinking about winning, you needed to focus on your performance, you needed to focus on your process, and 4 years is a very long time. So, the winning part should not be emphasized on. So, like if it is a performance goal for this particular athlete, he should have planned to participate in different championships so that he could better his mark in the javelin throw. and the process is he could have worked on his skill technique, honed his skill, learn better ways and also improve his mark. So, this example indicates to us that you need the multiple goal strategy, and the outcome goal only will not help. Second aspect, why do we need the performance goal? As we have already discussed, it provides a benchmark, it provides a standard. The athlete sets a standard for themselves. So, if you set a standard of improving your shooting accuracy by 80%, then you can, once you have achieved your 80%, you can increase it to the 85% mark. So, performance standards are very important, because unless you match your performance or you're able to accomplish your performance, then you cannot set these goals. Then comes the process goals. So, process goals are very important, because unless you have mastered your skill and technique, it becomes difficult for you to give any kind of stellar performance or even perform at an optimal level. Like you would have read in papers and even in articles where they talk about especially in tennis tournament, in Grand Slam events, or even in major tournaments that are there, many top ranked athletes exit from the game or exit from the tournament, maybe in the fourth round or maybe in the quarterfinals, etc. And when they give a press conference or when they are asked about what happened and what is the next course of events, they always come back and say that they're going to go back home and work on the fundamentals, work on the basics and work on the process goals. So, it's very important as athletes and even coaches and even parents to understand that all the three goals are important and when each goal is prominent. So, if you have not matched, or if you feel that you need to work more on your skills, then it is the process goal. If you have accomplished and worked reasonably well on your skill and technique, then you can set benchmarks for yourself, you can set performance standards for yourself. And finally, the outcome, of course, is dependent on your process as well as on your performance. But by default, as we all know, and it's evident from the discussions that we have had, that outcome goals provide very little benefits, it's only for short term motivation. But despite this, I always see that whenever you have an athlete or a sports person going for a tournament, we always tell them that you have to win, right? Come back with a medal or win. So, when this is instilled in the athlete from a very young age, that you have to win and come, it kind of creates some kind of a pressure on the athlete, and we have to be educated about it. So, that's why the PhD program talks about education, right? That you have to learn about what is goal setting and why it is useful and which of the goal is useful for us at a particular period of time. So, if you are a parent or if you are even a coach who is enrolled in this program, it's important to know that with your ward and with your athlete, focus on the process and the performance and give less emphasis on the outcome goal. So, we will now look at a research work that has been done. It talks about the importance of using multiple goals or the multiple goal strategy. So, Philby et al., the researcher, he studied college football players, and his study was based on a football wall volley test for 5 weeks. So, in a wall volley test, you have a wall and you can do certain amount of drills. So, they were doing volley test drills, and he divided all these players into 5 groups. Group A, the football players had no goal at all. So, they were just practicing the volley. In group B, the athletes worked only on the outcome goal. So, these athletes were said that they have to complete maybe a certain amount of volleys. So, they only looked at the outcome goal. Group C worked only on the process goals. Process goal is adopting the right kind of technique when they were doing the football volley against the wall. And group D had the outcome as well as the process goal. So, this is where it is important. You had an outcome where you set a standard of this many volleys to be done, and you worked on the process where the process involved having perfect wall volleys. And group E had all the 3 goals. So, they had the outcome goal, they had the performance goal and they had the process goal. So, the outcome, setting a standard for yourself in terms of the group is going to achieve a certain amount of volleys. performance is each person, each football player in that particular group set a performance standard for himself or herself, and the process involved having a perfecting the skill technique in the wall volley test. It is interesting to note that when they looked at the results, the group that had the multiple goals did better than the group which did not have other goals to work on, and group B, which worked only on the outcome goal, had the poorest results. So, this example is gives us the evidence that emphasizing only on the outcome goal will not provide the desired result. On the effectiveness of goal setting, we have here Nitin Kumar Sinha, a tennis player. Let us hear about his views about goal setting.
Hello, I'm Nitin Kumar Sinha, an international tennis player, and I'm playing at the highest level in the country. Yes, I do use goal setting in my sport, and I have been using it for a while now. It helps me to have a concrete plan, and it gives me a strong sense of ideas of what I need to do in order to improve. For example, when I play a tournament and I feel that I need to be more aggressive with my ground strokes, I put that in my goal that I want to improve this particular aspect in 2 or 3 weeks, and I keep practicing that, and my only focus is to just be more aggressive on the ground strokes. That idea, that particular idea helps me to improve my game. uh, I set my goals mostly based on the matches that I play. Whether I win or lose, I see what are the good things that I have done and what are the things that I need to improve. So I make a plan accordingly, and then I set a goal for the next few weeks that I have off, and I try to just work on those particular goals that I want to improve, and that helps me a lot when I go for the next set of tournaments. The strategy that I use when I have achieved a set goal, it just gives me a confidence that I'm going on the right path, and that the process that I'm doing is working, and that gives me more confidence when I'm playing on the court. And then again, the next tournaments that I play, whether I've done something good or bad, I write down the plus and minus and put it in my goals accordingly. Thank you.
So, Nitin was here expressing about how he uses goal setting in his tennis game. This brings us to talk about an aspect which is very important is, okay, you know what is goal setting, you know the different types of goals that can be used, what now? So, why does goal setting help us, right? So, 4 aspects which have been proven by research. First one, it directs our attention. Second, we mobilize our efforts. Third is persistence, and fourth is promotes learning of new strategies. So, let us understand what these 4 concepts are. I will also give you examples, so we can understand the theory and also apply it into the practical context. So, let us look at directing our attention, right. So, when we know what we need to do, we can focus all our attention and our thoughts to it. So, imagine going for a practice session without knowing what you are going to do in practice, right. It is very ad hoc, it is like a laissez-faire, like you do whatever, right. Like if it is a tennis player, you will just go for the practice and say, I am going to serve, then I am going to hit forehand, I am going to hit backhand. You will just do a very random mix of practice training. If you know what you want to work on, it will be very systematic, and you will go for the practice session with exactly what you want to do. This is also like a horse, right. When a horse is pulling a cart, they have the blinders for the horse, right, so that the horse is focused and it travels in one particular path. So goal setting is also similar to that. Your thoughts do not wander about what I am going to do, and you also have a sense of direction about what you want to do. Second aspect is effort mobilization. So, once you know what you want to do, you channelize your effort, you put all your effort into achieving that particular goal that has been set. So, let us take an example of a weight lifter or a weight training, in a weight training session, where he or she wants to lift 250 kgs, right. So, when they want to lift the 250 kgs, they put in all their effort in every practice session to make sure that they progress in order to achieve that 250 mark what they had set. And this is where persistence comes in. They do not quit, they do not stop, or they do not even take a break till they have achieved that target of 250 kgs. So, persistence is the key, and all athletes who are at sub elite and elite level persist in reaching that particular goal, and they do not give up till they have achieved that. Let us take an example of a tennis player who wants to perfect his one hand backhand. Okay. So, in perfecting that one hand backhand, okay, that is the goal that has been set. They are directing their attention to that, they are putting all their effort to achieve it. But sometimes even if you put all your effort, it is not possible to achieve it. That is where the persistence comes into play. So, if you are going to perfect your one hand backhand, then maybe you need to hit backhands in a day, in your morning practice or in your evening practice, and you need to consistently do it without giving up, without being upset, even if you are not able to achieve that mark, till you reach that perfect backhand, one-handed backhand. The fourth point is a very interesting point, that when you set goals, it helps us to explore and also research what can be built into your goal so that you can achieve it. So, let us take an example. I mean, I usually talk about basketball and tennis because basketball very close to my heart, because it is the game I played, and my daughter played that, and I also take tennis because my daughter played the tennis part. So, let us look at in basketball nowadays, or the current generation what we have very tall players. So, if you are like set against, or if you have opponents who are very tall and you are not able to score over them, what do, right? So, you have a goal that you want to increase your shooting percentage, and you are working towards it, but somewhere down the line you realize that it is not enough, it is not giving you the desired result. So, in basketball, a very effective shot is called the hook shot. Okay. The person who invented this hook shot goes to Goose Tatum. He was a Harlem Globetrotter, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a former NBA star, is the one who actually promoted this shot and who is credited with influencing people to explore this shot. So, if you are a player and if you want to increase your shooting percentage, you could learn the hook shot, which somewhere down the line you realize that I could learn the hook shot because it is an effective way of, no one can block a particular shot if you have learnt it very well. So, this is how it promotes learning of new strategies. We can take another example. It could be like, if you are playing even cricket, like you are a bowler and you want to improve your bowling line and length, and you are doing everything in practicing it on a regular basis, but you are not achieving the desired results. Then finally, you and your coach discover that it could be with something with the run up, it could be a little bit, to tweak your bowling action, or it could be something about loading. So, goal setting helps us to learn new and different strategies so that we can apply them and able to achieve our goal. Once we have done this, we are in a better position to work on our particular goals. Now, we will just look at a reflective exercise which will help us understand and identify the different types of goals that we have talked, the multiple goal strategy. So, Raman is a college 110 meters hurdle champion. Okay, and he is preparing for the All India University Games. He has set his goals on winning the gold medal at the 110 meter hurdles, that is one first goal. He wants to cross each hurdle within a particular timing, and the third goal that he has set for himself is he wants to master the technique of hurdle clearance. Okay. So, this is the exercise. Now, let us answer some questions about the case. Okay. So, 3 questions: what is Raman's outcome goal? Okay. What is Raman's performance goal? And what is Raman's process goal? So, Raman's outcome goal would be to win the 110 meters gold medal. His performance goal would be to cross each hurdle with a particular timing, okay, because this is his personal standards that he has set. And the third goal, Raman's process goal, would be mastering the technique of hurdle clearance. So, you see all the three goals playing a very important role, or the multiple goal strategy being utilized by Raman in his quest for getting the 110 meters gold. So, winning the gold medal, clearing the hurdle under a certain timing, and the process goal. In the process of winning the gold medal, he also has to master the technique of clearing each of these hurdles. So, this reflective exercise will help you to understand how the three goals are very important, and each goal has an important meaning, and each goal helps or works towards achieving your outcome goal. When we want to set goals or get into a goal setting program, we have to follow certain guidelines, right. So, some principles which help us so that we are able to achieve our goals. So, in this slide we see 9 goals that are there. We will be looking at each of these goals separately. So, we have the specific goals, setting of specific goals, setting short term goals to reach the long term goals, being realistic, but also setting difficult goals, moderately difficult goals. Use all the 3 goals, outcome goals, process goals and performance. Fifth guideline is a very important aspect in goal setting, set practice goals and competition goals. Sixth one, not enough if you just set your goals, you need to write down and monitor your progress. Seventh one, setting timelines to achieve the goals. Eighth one, athletes must internalize the goals. And the ninth goal setting guideline is we have to develop strategies about how we are going to achieve the goals. So, in this session we will not be discussing all of the guidelines, we will be only discussing a few. So, let us go into a little detail about what are these guidelines. So, the first one is specific goals should be set. So, if you are a coach or even if you are an athlete, you have to set goals which are specific, right. Do not set generic or very vague goals like becoming a better basketball player, becoming a better swimmer, becoming a better volleyball player are very general statements. What do you want to achieve in that? That is the specific goal, and that specificity should be emphasized in your goal. I want to increase my shooting percentage in basketball. I want to be able to improve my footwork in football. So, these are the specific goals that could be set by athletes. So, remember not to set very generic goals. Short term goals to be used to reach the long term goals. We already discussed about the long term goals in session 1 where long term goals anywhere between 3 to 5 years, right. So, if you want to reach the long term goal, we have to set small short term goals to achieve the long term goals. And to guide us to go through this process, we use something called as a staircase approach. So, let us see what is a staircase approach. Okay. So, the staircase approach starts with a baseline performance. Okay. This performance is something that you have been achieving in your practice. Then you also have a terminal goal, that is the goal where you want to achieve or where you want to finally see yourself. So, in this example, we have at the baseline performance 60% of the first serves in. That means the tennis player is currently at the 60% level of his first serves, and his terminal goal is the 80%. So, he wants to move from 60% to the 80% level. What does he or she have to do? Set intermediate goals in between. So, goal 1 will be 65% of first serves in, goal 2 will be 70% of the first serves in, goal 3 will be 75%, and terminal goal will be the 80%. So, how do you reach your long term goal? It is using the short incremental steps like a staircase approach so that you achieve the terminal goal. So, athletes and coaches all can utilize this in whichever game they are applying the goal setting process by using the staircase approach. The third guideline is use moderately difficult but realistic goals. So, if your goal is very easy and you achieve it, then you may think that you're great and you are like you have nothing more to work on. So, the goal should be realistic and it should be moderately difficult. So, that pushes you to work a little bit harder, to to extend yourself a little bit beyond what you are capable of achieving. A simple example, if you are capable of doing 30 pushes in maybe 1 or 2 minutes, setting a goal of doing only 32 push-ups will be very, very limited. Instead, you can stretch yourself to make it like 40 push-ups, which apparently is not very difficult because you are already doing 30 and but you will work towards that. Fourth point, utilizing all the 3 goals, outcome goals, process and the performance goal. We have already learned that this threesome combination is an effective way of achieving the goal, and it is a useful technique. The research work was also supporting this. Fifth point, very important for athletes and coaches, set practice as well as competition goals. So, usually when we talk to athletes and we talk about goals, they always think that the goal setting is for competitions, it is for matches, it is for tournaments that they are going to go. So, in sports or even in training, we commonly say is what you do in practice is what you do in the matches. You are not, if you do not do it in practice, you are not going to suddenly have kind of a brainwave and do it in the matches. So, setting practice goals, checking if these goals can be attained in practice, only then will you be able to set these goals for competition. So, if you want to set a goal of I want to score 20 points in a competition, first in basketball, first you should know whether you can successfully score 20 points in practice. Then you can see yourself doing it in a competition or in a match. Without setting practice goals, you cannot set competitive goals. So, please remember, this is a very important thing, that practice is as important as the competition, and also what you do in practice is what you will also be doing in the matches or in the competition. So, having understood some of the guidelines of the goal setting procedure and the goal setting process, and also learning about how goal setting helps, I have a small exercise here. You have 2 questions here and this is like a multiple choice. You need to select the right answer for this. So, the first one is goal setting helps A, to become active, direct attention, become the best athlete, win medals. So, you can take a few seconds to arrive at your answer. So, the answer is B, goal setting helps to direct attention. The second question is, we reach long term goals. To reach long term goals, the approach used is dash. You use the step and ladder, you use the long jump, you use a box approach, or you use a staircase approach. So, the answer is you use a staircase approach, because we have already learnt it, like short term goals should be employed, or short term goals should be used to reach your long term goals. So, I am sure this has given a clear understanding about why goal setting helps, and also what kind of approach you should use when you want to reach your long term goals, and also some of the guidelines. So, let us quickly do a recap what we discussed in this session. Firstly, we talked about the multiple goal strategy, which focuses on using all the 3 goals: outcome goal, process goals and performance goals, each individually having its own importance and collectively working together for the end result. We learned about why goal setting helps. 4 aspects: it helps in directing our attention, it mobilizes all our effort in working towards achieving the goal, we need to persist until we have achieved the goal, and finally, when we set goals, it helps us to come out with new strategies that we can use to better our performance. And finally, the guidelines. Though there are 9 guidelines, we discussed only 5 guidelines here about what goal setting is all about. In the next session, in session 3, we will be looking at the other guidelines that are there, and also about other aspects about goal setting, as to why sometimes goal set fails, and also how we can overcome the problems or the pitfalls with goal setting. So, thank you very much for listening to this session, and I look forward to meeting you in session 3. Thank you.